You've probably heard this 1,000 times. The rich buy assets, the poor buy liabilities. But what if I told you that most people, including you, have the wrong idea about what an asset even is? Because it's not just stocks, real estate, or businesses. The richest people quietly buy unconventional assets that don't show up on balance sheets, but build lasting wealth and power behind the scenes. You don't need to be a millionaire to understand this. Just look at the habits of people who consistently move up in life. They focus on very different kinds of assets than everyone else. In this video, I'll break down the 10 surprising assets the rich buy and how you can start building them today, even if you're not rich yet. Asset number 1, time autonomy. Wealthy people don't just manage time, they treat it like capital. Every hour they save or redirect becomes a form of reinvestment into their future. They avoid trading time for money unless it's highly leveraged, and they're always looking for ways to compress effort and multiply output. They hire help when it saves them from repetitive tasks. They automate what can be automated. But more than that, they buy back their time so they can think, strategize, and rest. Because they understand that time isn't just a resource, it's the core currency of freedom. Think of two people with the same 9-to-5 job. One uses evenings to unwind in front of Netflix. The other uses that time to take a course, build a side hustle, or get 8 hours of sleep so they think sharper the next day. That consistent leverage compounds faster than people realize. 5 years later, one is in the same spot. The other has options. When you learn to buy back your time by automating tasks, saying no to time-wasting commitments, and focusing only on high-value actions, you start living ahead of the curve instead of constantly catching up. The goal isn't just productivity, it's freedom from dependency. Asset number 2, reputation. Reputation is like compound interest for your character. Every interaction is a deposit or a withdrawal. Wealthy people understand that being trusted is more valuable than being liked. A strong reputation opens doors that money can't buy. Deals, referrals, second chances, and insider access. They play the long game. They underpromise and overdeliver. They protect their name in rooms they're not in by consistently showing up with integrity and value. And because people trust them, opportunities gravitate their way. Reputation is what gets you in when resumes and pitches fall short. Imagine a small business owner who's never run ads, but has a calendar full of clients. Why? Because every past client became a walking testimonial. On the flip side, someone who breaks promises or cuts corners can burn bridges that might have led to partnerships, investments, or promotions. Your name is a brand. Build it with consistency, honesty, and results, and opportunities will start to chase you. When you protect your reputation, you're not just guarding your image, you're compounding trust, and that's one of the rarest currencies in the modern world. Asset number 3, mental clarity. Mental clarity is what allows you to separate signal from noise in a world full of distractions. Rich people don't just organize their calendar, they organize their mind. That means setting boundaries around information, avoiding constant reaction mode, and designing an environment that supports focus and clear thinking. They don't wake up and react. They plan, they reflect, and they reduce cognitive clutter. That clarity gives them sharper instincts, faster recovery from setbacks, and a stronger connection to long-term goals. They don't just do more, they do what matters, because the fog has been cleared. One person wakes up, scrolls news feeds, compares themselves to others, and reacts emotionally all day. Another person starts their day with 15 minutes of thinking, reviews their priorities, and avoids the noise. Over a year, that second person isn't just calmer, they've made better decisions with their money, health, and time. A clear mind leads to better timing, sharper decisions, and less burnout. In the long game, that's a massive financial edge. In a distracted world, mental clarity becomes your unfair advantage. Asset number 4, access. Access is the hidden key behind many success stories. Who you can call, who you can learn from, who gives you early information, all of that changes the playing field. The wealthy intentionally build networks where value circulates. They give first, listen more than they speak, and consistently stay in proximity to growth. Access is what turns good timing into great outcomes. It gives you a seat at tables others don't even know exist. The right room can give you clarity, speed, mentorship, and deals that never go public. And often, the people who have access aren't loud, they're strategically positioned. A mid-level employee joins a local entrepreneurship group. Instead of just watching YouTube videos, They start talking to people building things. One connection turns into a joint venture. A year later, they're running a profitable business because they had access to minds and moves no one on the outside could see. Build your network before you need it. Access turns average people into insiders, and insiders into decision makers. Relationships compound faster than money ever will. Asset number 5, leverageable skills. Wealthy individuals build skills that scale. They don't just focus on competence, they build rare, valuable combinations. A great copywriter who also understands data becomes exponentially more powerful. A designer who understands sales psychology becomes a growth engine. These are the kinds of skills that can multiply impact without multiplying effort. 2 friends launch small online stores. One spends hours packing boxes. The other learned how to automate fulfillment, write persuasive product pages, and run Facebook ads. Same effort to start, but 10x difference in results. One earns money, the other earns scale. Ask yourself, can this skill produce outsized returns without burning me out? If yes, master it. If not, move on. Asset number 6, personal brand. A personal brand acts like a digital compound asset. It works when you're sleeping, connects you with aligned opportunities, and amplifies your credibility at scale. Wealthy people use personal branding not for vanity, but for trust building at scale. And the earlier you start, the more momentum you gain. A financial coach begins sharing short videos on budgeting tips. After 6 months, they've built a loyal audience who trusts them. They start offering online sessions and courses. The brand does the selling while they sleep. Build online real estate. Because in the digital age, people Google you before they trust you, and a strong personal brand is the new handshake. Asset number 7, decision-making frameworks. Smart decision makers don't rely on feelings or trends, they use principles. Wealthy people study history, probabilities, and incentives. They develop rules for risk, timing, and opportunity evaluation. This turns chaos into structure and helps them move faster and smarter than others. 2 investors react to a market dip. One panic sells, the other uses a rule: buy when fear is high, sell when greed is high. Over time, the second investor builds wealth by staying calm and letting logic guide their actions. Build systems that remove emotion from important decisions. In the long term, logic outperforms luck. Asset number 8, optionality. Optionality means freedom. It means never being cornered into one income source, one geography, one skill set. Wealthy people structure their lives to include backup plans, pivot paths, and multiple cash flow streams. Optionality protects you from risk and sets you up to capitalize on volatility. A full-time employee starts freelancing on weekends. When their job lays them off unexpectedly, they aren't scrambling. They already have clients and income. Optionality turned a disaster into an upgrade. Build optionality while things are stable, because by the time you need it, it may be too late. Asset number 9, privacy. In a world where everyone overshares, the rich often do the opposite. Privacy gives them strategic advantage. It keeps competitors guessing, protects family life, and avoids envy or unwanted attention. It also means fewer distractions because the spotlight often comes with noise. A couple lives in a modest home, drives normal cars, and rarely posts online. But behind the scenes, they own a portfolio of rental properties. No stress, no status games, just freedom. While others flash, they build. You don't need to prove anything when you're actually winning. Real freedom grows best in quiet. Asset number 10, identity. Your identity determines your financial destiny. The rich see themselves as stewards of capital, creators of opportunity, and builders of value. And because that's who they believe they are, their actions naturally align with long-term success. You can change your results, but it starts with changing your story. Someone used to say, "I'm just bad with money." But one day, they started saying, "I'm the kind of person who learns about money and improves every year." That small shift changed how they saved, spent, and invested. Their mindset became their map. Wealth begins with identity. Upgrade who you believe you are, and your results will start to reflect that version. So when you hear the rich buy assets, remember, they're not just buying stocks or properties. They're collecting invisible assets: reputation, access, time, clarity, optionality, identity. And the best part, these are assets you can build starting today. Drop a comment and tell me, which of these 10 are you working on right now? Subscribe for more mindset shifts and money truths that actually build long-term wealth.